beautiful island where there's so much to see. Every corner I turn, there's something there to remind me of my beautiful nation and what it means to me. Not a thing out of place, that's what's special about it. And do you hear? It's the songs the birds are singing. Do you hear? It's a sound that's everlasting, and there's no end in sight, just the beginning of our lives. Sweet Grenada, this is home. Yes, and do you hear? It's the songs the birds are singing. Do you hear? It's a sound that's everlasting, and there's no end in sight, just the beginning of our lives. Sweet Grenada, this is home, home, home. Sweet Grenada, yeah, this is home.
Yeah, man. Grenada, Grenada. How are you doing? Trinidad, Tobago, PD, Martinique, and the rest of the world. Welcome to your Valentine edition of Mikey Live. It's indeed a beautiful day today. In fact, a lot of people talking about Valentines and their love and so on. It's just a fantastic day. Whenever you talk about love, in fact, whenever love is the center of attention, when it is the thing that we are talking about, then that just makes for a perfect day. Welcome, folks. Those of you who are just joining us, I hope that you feel extremely loved today, that you gave someone a gift as a symbol of your love, or at least you would have received something as a symbol of someone else's love. If you have not yet, well, probably later on tonight. On the news, somebody said that they got their Valentines last night. It left it to our imagination to figure it out, right? Anyway, this is news discussed, not told. We say you get here the good, the bad, and the Mikey. Believe you me, it will be another interesting program. If you have not yet done so, then please go ahead and share the program. It is very easy to do so. For those of you who are on Facebook, there is a button that says share right on there. You can't miss it. Let's go ahead and share the program. When you share the program, it ensures that the program is free for all, simply because other people are seeing it, and so it helps with the growth of the program. Yes, so if you want the program to continue to be free, then share the business. We also like to welcome those of you who are viewing via YouTube. Thank you for viewing as well. We see that we are now joined by the folks on WPG10, that is channels 10 on cable and 11, channel 10 standard definition and 11 high definition. Welcome to another Mikey Live program. Let us take a look at tonight's headlines. Now, in the headlines, we're going to tell you about traffic restrictions at Dusty Highway. Also, how Valentine's Day was spent in Grenada. Trinidad students get on to Killer's song on school compound. As well, no, you can't just pick up anything. Cops want fit goers in Trinidad. New mandate, the proposed way forward for GFA, and that Grenada is now better equipped to deal with oil spills, though we have had none of that happening in recent times. we are being proactive. We're going to tell you more about that. So there's that and more to tell you about on tonight's Mikey Life program. Brace yourself. This is the good, the bad, and the Mikey. We'd like to remind you that the headlines was brought to you through the kind compliments of Duty Free Caribbean and the Colombian Emeralds International. Now, when we return, it will be real news in Olio Lili Lolo. We take a quick break.
And so it begins, a journey like no other. Jungles so lush, they make emeralds jealous. Water that sparkles like diamonds. Mountains with more facets than precious gems. This is where good times are had, where love is strengthened, where memories are formed. And when it all comes to an end, bring home something that will never fade. Colombian Emeralds International. Bring home more than a memory.
Cancer got with the next one.
Cancer? Who is cancer? And who you go with?
Who is cancer? Why you don't live in it? But cancer is a disease caused by too much abnormal cells in a part in the body. That cancer is a real killer.
Yeah? Cancer should be in prison? But, by the way, who cancer kill?
Mr. Jella last son.
You mean Jackson?
Oh.
And he was so young and never thought cancer does kill young people so.
But cancer is no respect of age, race, gender, nothing.
You're telling me? I hear it have over 25 different types of cancer.
Like, cancer then style now? Cancer more popular than them damagings and them?
And from what I research, early detection, exercise, and healthy eating is your best chance of fighting against this terrible disease.
Let's intensify our fight against cancer. Regular screening, constant exercising, and healthy eating habits are the key to winning the battle against cancer.
Trying to get fit for 2019? Then start your journey to fitness with Quartz. Buy any Marcy or Land Ranger gym equipment for $4.99 and over from now until March 31st and enter for your chance to win your purchase free. Shop now and pay nothing until Easter 2019. Your journey to fitness begins with Quartz. Visit us today for your gym equipment and enter to win. Quartz, bringing value home.
Alrighty folks, and welcome again to those of you who are just joining us. Now let's get into tonight's news. For those of you who are here for the first time, it is my pleasure to welcome you to another Mikey Live program. Now folks, the first thing that we need to tell you about is an update on last night's accident. Of course, we were given an update. The source told us that the persons involved in this incident did not suffer any serious injuries. All right, you know, last night we were talking about this, which happened in front of the gas station that's on Melville Street upon entering into the city. We were not sure on anything, just at least to know that the incident happened. And we received an update from one of the sources who were at the scene and said that no one really sustained any major injuries. So that's just for an update on that matter. And we move on now from that to information from the Royal Grenada Police Force. And the traffic department of the Royal Grenada Police Force wants to notify the general public, and in particular motorists, that Dusty Highway Public Road will be restricted to one-way traffic where vehicles are permitted to travel in the direction of True Blue St. George's only. All right, and that will be on Thursday, which was today, and that will continue on to tomorrow. All right, now that is going to happen between the hours of 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Now, the Royal Grenada Police Force apologizes, they say, for any inconveniences caused. Today was Valentine's Day in, well, Grenada and around the world, and there were mixed sentiments expressed about the Valentine. Of course, it's a day when people choose to express their love to gifts, going out, gifts and services. Now, just how did Grenadians spend their day? Of course, some persons were enthusiastic about the day and went about the day as traditionally done, went into some stores and bought whatever they had to get for their partners. However, what was noticeably different was the lack of persons selling the Valentine stuff on the street sides. Yes, of course, we heard several persons commenting as to how it is the Valentines this year seems to be somewhat different from previous years. And I spoke to one of the vendors who was there and said what she knows is that the persons who usually would vend on the streets on Valentine's Day were not permitted to do so because they have implemented this restriction in terms of selling on the street side. And that vendor said that is more than likely the reason many persons were left searching for their Valentine goodies. Of course, nonetheless, I got mine, from that same vendor. Asked her what's different about her. She said that she was one of the only persons who took the chance to put a little table outside of a store in order to get some of these items sold. Yes, but it was rather different this time around. I hope that you got something. If you didn't, don't be too hard on your partner. Okay, now we would have an update for you a little bit later on in terms of how our neighbors would have spent their Valentines. In fact, we're going to take a look at Valentines in St. Lucia. Who is your Valentine? And I hope that you make it extremely special for them. We are moving on, and we are going to talk about oil spill. Boy, you see, it is not something that we hear about all the time. Nonetheless, it is something that we have to constantly think about, and the Grenada Ports Authority is today better equipped to respond to an oil spill. Now, on Wednesday, through the Japan's grant aid for the economic and the social development program, specifically related to disaster risk management, commissioned and commenced a day-long practical training session with personnel from the Oil Spill Committee of the National Emergency Advisory Council of NADMA, facilitated by the Japanese firm Nessie Trading. Now, the oil spill recovery system, which was procured under the project, is one of many timely tools requested by the various institutions who make up NADMA that will be important in the management of hazards, natural or man-made. Now, the present at the commissioning activity was the manager of the Port Authority, that's Mr. Ian Evans, and he said the equipment will help improve the response capability of Grenada in case of an oil spill. And we had our colleague speaking to him about that in terms of why we need it and stuff like that. Okay, so we have an interview with him, very short, and that was conducted by colleague Oswin Crosby.
The main thing is the oily response equipment. So we have skimmer, pressure washers, the tank, a containment boom to keep the oil in if you have a spill, and a truck to deploy all of this equipment. And it's under the Japanese Technical Aid program. It is to improve the response capability of Grenada in case of oil spills.
With this, I know it will be adding to what you already have. We spoke to the timeliness, but tell me how you think this will assist with your response. We know that we don't have any major oil spill, but we don't know when it will happen because we are having more and more ships coming here. How do you think this will assist? How will this addition assist you in better conducting?
The addition basically improves our capability as a nation to respond, because right now we pool equipment between the different agencies, your SOL, Rubis, ourselves, and Coast Guard. So we have this expands the capability in that pool of equipment to share. As to the risk, there is a great risk in that not just ships coming to Grenada, you also have ships going through the region. And the section between Trinidad and Grenada is one of the busiest transited regions in the Caribbean. If you look at the 1979, you had a collision between two supertankers, which resulted in the biggest oil spill in the world from a vessel on record. So these are the type of things we have to safeguard against. And the booms will allow us to protect certain resources if there is a major spill.
All right, thank you very much for that bit of information. Now, while we are on that topic, here's the next thing that we have to tell all you about, boy. Now, the general body of the National Emergency Advisory Council, NEAC, was on Wednesday the privileged group to receive a timely presentation from the Caribbean Institute of Meteorology and Hydrology, CIMH, entitled Governance of Climate Services Delivery in Grenada. Mr. Adrian Trotman, he's the Chief of Applied Meteorology and Climatology at CIMH. Now, they say that he gave a thought-provoking presentation on the realities of delivering information to key sectors of the climate impacts and changes in a timely manner. Now, he was talking about things like droughts, how it affects us, and risk reduction, risk management, and so on. I mean, it was a very interesting session. I myself had to go through the clippings and so on to just take some notes just from my own knowledge. He spoke of what we can expect as it relates to the current dry season and how we can manage.
Well, we're still looking at below normal rainfall, and the dry season normally has, in a relative sense, less rain, much less rain. So when we talk about drought is relative. You can have drought in the wet season, but it might not impact as badly as drought during the dry season. Because when it's in the dry season and then you get less water, less rainfall during the dry season that you're accustomed to having in the dry season, you can really have heavy impacts from lack of water available for anything, for domestic use, for industry, animals, crops, whatever the case might be. All right? And what we are suggesting is that the trend that has started since about December, you would recognize that as you move from November to December, there was a sharp drop in the amount of rain in Grenada and many parts of the Caribbean. And I think the same has happened in January. We're about to get the January information and put it out. So there's 2 months of fairly low rainfall in most of the Caribbean. And we're almost halfway through a third month. And what you start to do is to see depletions in your water resources. Now, there was a discussion here about sometimes what happens is not necessarily drought that is impacting it heavily, but poor management. But what I want to say, that might happen. I don't know, right? I'm not here to whether it's poor management, is leak. That's not my concern. I think that's something we can all work with, improving management in the biggest of countries, the most developed countries. But I just want to say, where things are not managed necessarily well, when you have a drought, it makes the situation worse. And so the two sets of thinking, working towards both is very key. Enhancing management, enhancing water supplies that we talked about, rainwater harvesting and so on. That's another way. I mean, all kinds of solutions. Some have solutions say, okay, we are islands. Why we have so much sea around us? Why not saline using salt water? You know, but we know that's expensive.
Yes, thank you very much. Of course, Grenada is currently under drought warning, and several water systems have already been placed on regulation, with more anticipated to be added. Of course, with that, NAWASA encourages its customers to invest in adequate storage in the event of a more severe drought situation here in Grenada. While Mr. Trotman was here, he was hosted by the folks at NAWASA, and they had a nice little they had a nice little presentation for him there, you know. They give him a nice little thing. I wonder what they in a bag, boy. You know, they do a nice little thing for him, you know. So he organize and thing. Yeah, anyway, let's leave that talk there. So folks, the next thing that we have to tell all you about, boy, Carnival in Carriacou is coming up. And so we receive correspondence from Clark's Court. The Grenada Distillers Limited, they are the makers of Clark's Court, Grenada's #1 rums. They have announced their commitment. They say that they are once again committed its resources to the enhancement of Carnival celebrations on the sister isle of Carriacou. Now, as the excitement and anticipation intensifies, revelers from Carriacou, mainland Grenada and beyond will be exposed to the wide range of products offered by Clark's Court. Now, in addition to being a partner and having a distinct presence at all the major carnival events, Clark's Court will also be teaming up with local businesses, which is some of their business partners, and the Carriacou and Petite Martinique Carnival Committee to form a welcome team. And that's for Thursday, February 28th, Friday, March 1st, and Saturday, March 2nd at the main port of entrance at Havy Vale. Now, Clark's Court say that they are delighted to share in the euphoria that is kayak mass, and they do encourage all participants and onlookers to let safety and responsibility be their watchwords for Carnival 2019. Yeah, sounds like all your Clark's Court on board. So here are going on, people. Your boy going up there, and we hope to cover the entire carnival. Do Mikey live from Carriacou, take it from another kind of vibes and them kind of business and them there, you know what I mean? Do watch now, we doing Mikey live all in the bush if we have to, but we doing things, you know what I mean? But anyway, let's lead our talk. Next story we have to tell the boy, talking about bush. No! You can't just pick up anything and run with it. Another conversation is being had about Mr. Killer's song and thing. Of course, yesterday we showed you it was a little kicksy, but it's a serious business. You understand? A serious business they're talking about, boy. You understand? So here going on, we monitor this one from Trinidad Express. Grenadian soca sensation Hollis Mr. Killer Maps 2019 release Run With It has incited soca lovers at various carnival fests to pick up something and do exactly as the song says and run with it. Now, it says that while this could be a great way to get in some cardio, some exercise in habit, taking people's things without permission could make you end up on the wrong side of the law. So we were told, we show you the little clip with the inspector and thing when he was talking about the whole thing in the media briefing yesterday. They also talk about reports of the corn soup apparatus being picked up and it was not returned. They say that constitutes larceny, thieving. But I see the corn soup pot on a cruise or some kind of party. I saw it today. I ain't making it up. You understand? Go back and get a pot. That's small thing. You know? They say it was one of several reports that TTPS, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Services, received with regards to the song. They say from coolers to chairs and even people. They say it seems that nothing is off limits to what you can carry and run with, as the song suggests. They say at a fete on Wednesday night. No, listen. I don't make it up, you know. They say at a fete on Wednesday night, some people picked up a vendor's 10 by 10 tent and ran with it. I ain't making it up. They say they pick up a 10 by 10 tent, you know. And they run with them people tent. People. I ain't making it up. Watch now. They say, watch that. They say the vendor they vending, you know, get that like a thing, and they do anything. All just feel is a breeze blow. They say all the vendor feel is a breeze blow, and the under the tent just get bright. They say when they look up, oh God. They say when they look up, is moon, stars, and satellite. They're like, what the? Yeah, happy. However, they say, I ain't making it up, they say the tent was later returned. You know, we were talking on the business the other day. I don't know if it's here on the radio. I can't remember what we were talking about it. You see, you have to understand how Grenadians fete. In fact, I ain't making it up. I think, yeah, we need to make that up now. I think we need to make up a list of 10 rules, 10 commandments. Somebody do that on your program for me. Everybody do one rule to teach them Trinidadians how Grenadians would actually fete. Number 1, when responding to the song, do not run with any prominent structures. Structures that was intended to be prominent, posts, pillars, and then kind of thing. Leave that in. 2, whatever you remove, you must M-U-S-T put back. You understand? That is rule number 2. Rule number 3, if you pick up somebody, put them back right where you get them. Understand? Good. And y'all could make up the rest of the rules on the program while I move on. Alright, how are we looking for time? No. Alright? Yo! Some children, boy, in a school believed to be in Trinidad reacted to the song. I don't know who tell them do that. To go and play the song on the school compound, people. All you. If you see mass, yikes. Anyway, I leave that talk there. I think someone on the program. Y'all ever realize when you spell Glenelg backwards, what you get? You know what I mean? When you spell Glenelg backwards, what you get? Yeah, boy, that's the only thing you can get wrong in a Glenelg. I think that was a match made in heaven. Yeah, you can't go wrong with Glenelg. And when they say you can't go wrong with Glenelg, even if you do it back and front, you still getting Glenelg. No? You never hear that yet. So, them children and them, oh, but wait, you know, wait, I go here, yeah, child, when you go home and your mother see you on Mikey live and you go here, mass. Yeah, laugh after, yeah, it's gone. Anyway, let's leave that talk there. Watch them children. Yeah, after joy, sorrow. Anyway, let me leave that talk. Marvin, what's happening, brah? I see you there on the program. Big up your whole self. How we looking for time? Yeah, I want to say big up to brother John Wells. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's small thing, brother John. No, what John? Anyway, what else we had to tell all the boy? Yeah. So, new mandate is the proposed way forward for the GFA. suggests Mr. Patrick Francis, executive member of the GFA. He says that a new mandate may just be the way forward, may just be what's necessary. I mean, after all that battling and then that kind of business, how do you go back and work together in the interest of football? That was one of the questions that was put to the head table at yesterday's press conference held by 5 members of the GFA executive. These were the members who were responsible for the provisional dismissal of current president of the association, Mr. Cheney Joseph. Now, when Johnson Richardson asked the question of how do we go forward, this was the response.
Nevertheless, assuming that you're able to reach an amicable solution anytime soon, do you see the 5 here that you mentioned here, 4 now, down the road, working together with the executive to bring to advance football in Grenada? Putting aside all of this happening now and working in the interest of football?
Let me answer that question straight and to the point. 1, the reason why we are at this junction, it shows you, it's evident that Mr. Joseph can't take critiques. He can't sit down in a meeting and take people who throw in a different idea. So 1, he lacked the capacity to bring people together regardless of wavering views. 2, in the election, we all know that Mr. Joseph went uncontested, right? When the last election, he went uncontested. Myself, who was sitting together with Mr. Joseph in the meeting, Mr. Campbell, Mr. Blair, right? He campaigned against us, and we are back in the executive, right? So in terms of you talking, what will be the ideal situation for me, and for probably all of our colleagues probably that could speak, is a new mandate from the council, right? Because I don't know, I mean, but still, things like that could work out, because of course Nelson Mandela, you had people who killed one another and they still reconcile, and I don't think that we reached to that. But it's just a matter of leadership and leadership style. That's what is happening. Yeah. So
you would prefer a new mandate based on what is happening now?
Yeah, I would prefer a new mandate.
Nevertheless. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Patrick and Mr. Richardson. We're moving on. All right, how are we looking for time? When me timekeeper this tonight, I ain't see me timekeeper. What it is? Anyway, we're moving on. So we talked about how Grenada celebrated its Valentine's, and of course I wanted to take us to one of the other islands to see how things might be similar or different. And so we take you to St. Lucia to see how they spend their Valentine.
Celebrated worldwide on February 14th, Valentine's Day is an amorous occasion for couples to express their love through the showering of gifts, flowers, and chocolates. Valentine's Day is also an occasion to spend quality time with loved ones. On Thursday, News Force took to the capital to see vendors' special offerings. While some vendors believe that the tradition is dying out,
Valentine is going out of the way and everybody going into independence now. Independence is taking over Valentine now. The people say they're not in love, they don't have a lover, they're not shopping.
Others say people complain about having insufficient funds to purchase gifts.
Well, the students, they want to, but they don't have the money. The adults, they want to, but they don't have the money because the country has no money. We need jobs. We need, for people to enjoy their Valentine. It's about love, to show that love, but no love.
News Force also caught up with members of the public to find out what the Day of Love means for them. One person says love should be an everyday occasion.
Every day should be Valentine's Day. Celebrating Valentine's Day every day. To me, that special day makes no sense. Every day should be Valentine's Day. Spend the day, everything with Valentine's, no special day.
Another stated that it was an occasion to exploit money.
I've never with true love. It's just a myth, mythology, Greek mythology. And a lot of people get caught up in the commercializing of Valentine's Day, just like Christmas. So those who are at the level, I won't condemn them. that's what they do, but I know better, so I don't subscribe to Valentine's Day. I have true love in my heart every day.
The true origin of Valentine's Day is shrouded in mystery. Some experts argue that the heart-filled day contains vestiges of both Christian and ancient Roman tradition. Research suggests that Valentine's Day dates back to the Middle Ages and became popularized around 1400. Gina Filippi, HTS News Force.
So the sentiments shared in Grenada and St. Lucia are similar, very similar. And that's interesting, right? I also like the fact that she said independence is taking over Valentine. Because you find that here too. Well, in that context where you find that more time is spent on getting things, dressing up and all that, you find that happening more around independence rather than Valentine's. Now in St. Lucia, similarly here in Grenada. We are moving on. The next thing we have to tell you about, boy, they catch a big fish. When I say fish, I mean it's like police in Trinidad think that they have caught up to one of the troublemakers in Trinidad and Tobago. You understand? And so we got a little thing on that today. They say that in response to a recent spike in gang violence and homicides in Port of Spain division, which included a soldier being shot in Laventille on Tuesday night, officers of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Services, TTPS, swapped down on Beetham and Laventille communities. Now the police exercises began at around 10 a.m. they say, and they said that it was ongoing up to last night. They were out on the streets. All right, they say that it was led by the Commissioner of Police. They say that several persons of interest were detained, including an alleged gang member. They say that the man is very well known to the police, having recently been released from prison. The police said, no, they are saying that that person, since that person was released, crime, killing, a lot of stuff started happening. And so they believe that they have one of them in, which is that real troublemaker. You understand? So let me see what I'm going. He has been getting a lot of criticisms, however, about his mannerism, about how he goes about fighting crime. That is the Commissioner of Police, right? In Trinidad. But one can also say that since he has become the Commissioner of Police, you would realize that they have cracked a lot of major cases. They say now he's one of the persons whose life is one of the most high-risk individuals currently in Trinidad. The Commissioner of Police, with so many threats, death threats and so on, so many people wants his head. But he says he don't care. He's going after those criminal elements in Trinidad and Tobago. All right, how are we looking for time right now? All right, so folks, here we're going on. I want to take a break and come back with the national report for all. Yeah. All right, so stay tuned. For those of you who have not yet shared the program, I want to encourage you to go ahead and do so right now. We will be back shortly with the national report.
We listened to what you had to say and turn up the old rules, because losing what you paid for is just wrong. Now, lost data and talk are a thing of the past. Only Digicel gives you unlimited rollover data and talk. Just buy and renew your QuickPick bundle before it expires and keep what's rightfully yours. Never lose what you don't use. Go to My Digicel app to bundle up and roll over today. Digicel.
Audio Jungle.
It's a new year, so how about a new look? At Quartz Optical, we have the latest brand names and styles. Plus, get 20% off credit on 12 to 24 months. Instant credit approval while you are being tested. Get 15% off cash so you can get that new frame to go into the new year. Only at Quartz Optical, the largest, fastest growing optical chain in the Caribbean. Special conditions apply.
What happened to you?
My cancer, boy. Cancer got with the next one.
Cancer? Who is cancer? And who you go with?
Who is cancer? Boy, you don't live in here. My cancer is a disease caused by too much abnormal cells in a part in the body. That cancer is a real killer.
Yeah? Cancer should be in prison? But, by the way, who cancer kill?
Mr. Jello last son.
You mean Jackson? Oh. And he was so young. I never thought cancer does kill young people so.
But cancer is no respect of age, race, gender, nothing.
You're telling me? I hear you have over 25 different types of cancer.
Like, cancer then style now? Cancer more popular than them damagings and them?
And from what I research, early detection, exercise, and healthy eating is your best chance of fighting against this terrible disease.
Let's intensify our fight against cancer. Regular screening, constant exercising, and healthy eating habits are the key to winning the battle against cancer.
We mean business and we talk business.
I wanted to go back to when it started.
And we let women in business tell their own stories and inspire others.
But I'm very excited about 2019.
I am Abigail Long, and join me right here for Abby's Power Lunch.
You never looked at a piece of paper. This was just a beautiful conversation.
We talk to women of the Caribbean who make things happen.
I know, let's not just preach it, let's practice it, and it starts from household.
Alrighty, thank you very much, folks, and it is now time for the National Report.
International Monetary Fund proposes ex-ante approach to building resilience in Grenada. Details to this story and more in the National Report. With the news for today, Thursday, February 14th, I am Leslie Ann Johnson. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, is proposing a shift in focus from ex-post to ex-ante approach to building resilience for Grenada. Building resilience was one of the key themes highlighted during the visit of a high-level IMF delegation this week, headed by Deputy Managing Director of the IMF, Mr. Tao Zhong. Mr. Zhong said building resilience is more effective than responding after a natural disaster, and it can also help to boost growth and private investment over time. He said this shift will help to safeguard the significant gains Grenada has recorded in managing its economy.
If you're speaking of these natural disasters, we know this is not necessarily just a possibility. It's a question of when. It's not a question of if. So we have to prepare ourselves well. In the past, what we are doing is, we just respond or be responsive or passively responsive when the natural disaster hit. Now, of course, that's important. We have to respond. We have to be responsive. But more importantly, we realize that we have to move ahead and prepare ourselves in advance. So what we call it, the ex-ante resilience building effort. So that's a core part that we are trying to work together with the government, and including the part on the sound macroeconomic framework.
Mr. Jung said Grenada's economic performance has been quite solid as a result of the strong macroeconomic policies pursued by the government and the tough fiscal measures.
We think the government and the country is on the right track, and this is the beginning of that. It is not the end of the story, and we hope Grenada can provide a right case so that other countries in a similar situations like your neighbors can draw some lessons learned here, can draw some good experiences here to help them to prepare their work. I think the way, because Grenada is, like I said early on, is one of the members in our big families, and we benefit each other and we learn from each other. This is not just a matter of one-way flow of monetary terms, etc. But more importantly, the information, the knowledge flows, two-way flows. Sometimes that we provide advice to the countries, and sometimes the countries' experiences show a good way for us so that we can also pass on to our other members. So we all benefit from this relationship.
Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Dr. the Right Honourable Keith Mitchell, also acknowledged the need for a shift in focus, saying the actions we take in the preparedness and mitigation phases of the disaster management cycle can significantly reduce our level of vulnerability and consequently the potential impact of a disaster. We are in effect building resilience. Dr. Mitchell added, we have done an excellent job of ensuring fiscal resilience, and we must now broaden the scope of that to build a true resilience.
We are cognizant of what we have done, as I mentioned just yesterday at the luncheon with the IMF team. Parliamentarians, partners, social partners, and we say to them, this journey is far from over. We now have to safeguard what we have achieved. We, those of us today, we have to leave a legacy for our children and grandchildren. We cannot now say because we have achieved where we are, then we go back to do business as usual. Now go and increase wages beyond our ability to sustain it. Just keep hiring people into the public sector and not obtaining sustainable growth in jobs. That does not help us. Try and give everything that you earn, particular pension increases that you cannot sustain. It hurts everybody, including the pensioners. So we have to be responsible. So finally, government is already keenly aware of the significance of this and the resilience, the fiscal, infrastructure resilience, the financial resilience and social resilience that we must have as a country.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. the Right Honourable Keith Mitchell left the country on Thursday for meetings of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank in St. Kitts, following which he will travel to New York to participate in independence celebrations with Grenadian nationals there. On Thursday, Dr. Mitchell participated in the afternoon session of the 3rd Annual Growth and Resilience Dialogue with Social Partners, which was held under the theme Building Resilient Institutions and Infrastructure for Sustainable Growth. The Annual Growth and Resilience Dialogue was introduced in 2017 as a means of raising the awareness of stakeholders on issues facing the ECCU and the development of strategies intended to foster growth within the currency union. According to an information document on the ECCB website, the forum places emphasis on a few key challenges to growth and generates strategies to addressing them. The document further states that the issue of regional transport infrastructure, gaps and market-based governance arrangements have been identified as the key areas for discussion at the 2019 edition of this event. Speaking to the media prior to his departure on Thursday, Dr. Mitchell described the Annual Growth and Resilience Dialogue as an important opportunity to bring together government leaders and the leadership of trade unions, non-governmental organizations, churches and other partners in the development process. The objective of Thursday's meeting were to focus more on institutional strengthening and infrastructure, to share effective best practices for growth and resilience, to encourage the exchange of ideas and to forge further consensus consensus on the key elements of the Growth Action Plan. On Friday, Dr. Mitchell, who is currently chairman of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union, will chair the 93rd meeting of the Monetary Council. At the close of the meeting, Dr. Mitchell will lead a press briefing that will look at outcomes of that discussion. The Prime Minister will then travel on to New York, where he will participate in Grenada's 45th Anniversary of Independence Gala and Awards Ceremony, which will be held at El Caribe in Brooklyn. Dr. Mitchell is scheduled to return on Sunday. Minister for Infrastructure Development, Public Utilities, Energy, Transport and Implementation, the Honorable Gregory Bowen has been appointed acting Prime Minister in the absence of Dr. Mitchell. This is the National Report. More news after the break. Continuing the news, 50 young people on Thursday graduated from a 3-month life skills and practical training, looking forward to facing the world of work. The program, Fostering Level-Headed Youth, or FLY, seeks to develop young people through skills training as a means of reducing youth unemployment. An emulation ceremony was held at the National Stadium on Thursday, marking the completion of the 3 months of training in restaurant and bar services and facilities maintenance in St. David and St. John. The Honorable Kate Lewis, Minister with Responsibility for Youth Development, says the skills acquired through the FLY program are the gateway to other opportunities.
You are now more empowered to improve your quality of life and that of your family and your community. You are now better equipped to make a lasting positive impact on the development of your community and your country on a whole.
Parliamentary Representative for St. David, the Honorable Oliver Joseph, spoke to the importance of using the training to maximize their potential.
It is important to have our people trained and certified so that they can take their rightful place in society. Society keeps evolving, and we have to train our young people to deal with this evolving society. So we have vehicles now that are keyless. We have tires that are tubeless. We have TV that are wireless. But we still have some people that are clueless. So we need to have people trained in order to deal with all these new challenges. And I'm pleased with the turnout from St. David. The number of young people that came forward and said they wanted to be trained. Because that is where it must start. It must start with you as the individual responding to the call.
And the parliamentary representative for St. John, the Honorable Alvin Dabrio, applauded the participants for adding value to their lives and increasing their human capital.
It gives me immense pleasure to be part of this graduating ceremony. There is no greater feeling of accomplishment than seeing our young men and women excel and develop personally, socially, academically, and professionally. You are now armored with knowledge that will make the battle of your daily lives easier, which will also help in combating unemployment.
And that's the National Report. I'm Leslie Ann Johnson.
Alrighty, thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much, Lesbian and everyone else who was part of the National Report. I want to say how much I appreciate that, all right? And folks, we are just about ready to conclude tonight's program. I want to thank everybody who's on the program. Let's just wish Happy Valentine to everyone. Helen, Ezran, Esther, Deslin, Shireen, Kireen, Zaka, Colette, Samantha, Shireen again. We have Ala, we have Sheba, Raven, Suzette, Trevelyn, Deborah, Naomi. We also have Spice Girl, Sharon, Doris. We have as well Charmaine, and we have with us here as well Kevin, Angela. Also, we see here tuned into the program tonight is Royston. Royston, big up to you, all right? Royston, and thank you for making it Mikey Live. Who else is there with us? Happy Valentine's to Joan and Asha and Gemini. Give back your badge. You lost your badge. You're wrong. Della, I see you on the program too. I see Juan Lewis with us as well. I see we have Anne. Happy Valentine's. Irma, happy Valentine to you as well. Who else is Melly? I see Melly there as well. Okay, so everybody, man, big up yourself. All right, Rita, I see you there as well. Yes, Colette. So this lady keep telling me say hi to her. All right, I wrote down her name somewhere. Charlene Barry. Hey, Charlene, at the ministry. Big up yourself, right, Charlene? So you get big up tonight. You'll give me a chance. Charlene says all the time that I ignore her name. I don't get to see it. But anyway, Charlene, yeah, you get you tonight. Everton George, hello to you. And Sally, hello to you as well. And Cynthia, good day to you, all right? So, folks, Samantha, are you the Samantha that does the singing thingy? Are you the one who sings the calypso one thing? I can't remember if you're that Samantha. But anyway, big up yourself, all right? And we have more than one Veronica with us, and Natasha is with us as well, all right? So, guys, thank you, and may God bless you. And those of you who are also tuned in on WPG10, I'd like to say hello to you as well. And those of you on YouTube, big up to you. We're going to touch base. Rolanda, big up to you, all right? Tomorrow, God's willing. So let's go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we all say Happy Valentine's and ja. No, we're gonna come back tomorrow, God's willing, and it's gonna be more news in Ole Lele Lolo. Good night.